Okay, welcome everyone. So you've reached Grandma Mo. Appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button for me. So we're covering the WNBA games, and this one we have the Mystics and the Dallas Wings. Well, I'll tell you, right off the bat, all these trades have now happened, and the Mystics look drastically different. It's like you look at them, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it was only, so you brought in Alicia Clark, who, if you haven't watched Alicia Clark play, I've watched Alicia Clark for many years. She is a very good defender, and she is she's older now. I think she's the oldest player in the WNBA, but she's a very good defender, and she is a excellent three-point shooter. She was integral part of the Vegas two championships that they got. She was very key in there. She wasn't a leading scorer or anything, but she was like sixth person off the bench, and she would hit key threes and just a terrific defender. So it's interesting to see her on the Mystics team. And then you have J.C. Sheldon, who came over from Connecticut, and Aaliyah Edwards is now in Connecticut, which, we'll see how that works out. And then no Shakira Austin in this game. So for the last, she missed the first couple of games, but she's been in every game. And no, of course, Brittany Sykes. So I was wondering how this was going to go. And you know what? I actually think they look better. They started out a little slow. They weren't, everything wasn't gelling or whatever, but, about the third quarter, they figured it out, and just really good for the Mystics. Really good. And Dallas didn't play bad. They just didn't shoot very well, and it showed up in the second half. So the other thing I noticed was all of a sudden Stephanie Dolson came alive. She was in the three-point shooting contest, 2 years ago? And she was, this whole time she has been very, used sparingly as a pick setter, and she'd throw a three up occasionally, and she wasn't hitting at all. In this game, she was 4 for 5 overall. She was 2 for 2 from three, she went to the foul line. She would always stay out at the three-point line and set picks. Never go inside. Well, without Shakira Austin there and no Aaliyah Edwards, the only other big you have is Emily Inkster. So she got in there. And, she scored 14 points. She had 4 rebounds, 3 assists. She had a turnover, but she also had a block. So good game for Dolson. It was nice to see her kind of get her, get back to what she used to do. I don't know what it is. You change a few players, and then Kiki Iriafin and Sonia Citron, great game for them. They both were slow in the first half, though. And then they were utilizing the pick and roll, and I don't know, Iriafin got a lot of layups. Dallas has got to work on their defense because her and Citron got a few layups there. So Citron shot 70% from the floor. She was 7 for 10. She only took 2 threes, made one of them, went to the foul line. So she was utilizing driving to the hoop more. And she was getting them. She was getting in there. Dallas was not, my main team, because I live in Northern California, is the Valkyries. And the thing the Valkyries have more than just about every team is swarming defense. And they've gone through a lot of changes roster-wise with Eurobasket and then waiving players and they've had the most changes, I think, of any team with 19 different players or that play. I don't know. I've heard that somewhere. But they have gone. So the swarming defense, when that is working, which it did work early in the season, and now but I'll cover that in the Valkyries game. But you don't see that with Dallas. You see one-on-one, and then if that person gets beat, there's no help. And you could see it by people getting layups. Iriafin and Citron got a lot of layups. A lot of layups. So Dallas needs to work on that. They need to, the help defense has got to get a lot better for them. And that's probably why they're losing. Because they're not really playing bad. When you watch them, they're in a lot of games. But they don't know how to finish them out. And that usually either is poor shooting or bad defense. Or just so-so defense. So, Citron 18 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Let's see, she had 3 turnovers and a steal. And then Iriafin was the team's leading scorer with 23. She had 4 turnovers, 1 assist, and 10 rebounds. But she was 9 for 14 overall. And like I said, there was a lot of layups there. Dolson, we already covered. Jade Melbourne had 8 points. She was 3 for 5. She had 3 turnovers. Yeah, they had 17 turnovers. A lot of that was in the first half, though. They were just giving the ball away. Too much. 3 assists and 3 rebounds for her. Shug Sutton, she didn't score. She was 0 for, she didn't score at all. She had 4 shots and missed them. But she had 2 steals. She was contributing in other ways. She had 2 turnovers. She joined the turnover group. 3 assists and 2 rebounds. And then J.C. Sheldon, her first game with the Mystics, she did okay. She ended up driving to the hoop and getting another one getting layups. She was 4 for 5 from the foul line, and she was 2 for 6. She didn't hit any of her 3s she put up, but she had 8 points and 2 rebounds. And then Emily Inksler, I like Emily Inksler because she's a hustler. She's like, I'm drawing a blank. I'll think of it. Lexi Hull on the Fever, just all over the place, just massive hustle. I love seeing that. And she got utilized more because Shakira Austin was out. So she had 11 points. She had 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. She was 4 for 9 overall and 2 for 2 from 3. So Lucy Olsen got in the game, and they used their whole bench too. That was nice to see. Everybody's got, other than Citron, everybody's around 20 minutes, 20, 22 minutes, something like that. So everybody got a break, which is good. It helps with the being tired down the stretch. So she didn't score at all, but she only took 1 shot. She had 2 assists and a rebound, and she also had a block. And then we have Alicia Clark. She had 9 points. She had a turnover and 3 rebounds. She was 3 for 5 overall and hit a 3. So, as a team, the Mystics did very well. They weren't so good in the beginning, but they picked it up quick. They picked it up in the second half. 54% as a team and 40% overall. They out-rebounded Dallas also. They had 34 rebounds to Dallas's 26. And Dallas has some tall players, but they are just not playing that much. They're not playing their tall players. Like Leah Rue and they're using Hines Allen more than the big players. They're going with a smaller lineup. So, but Dallas only shot 36% as a team and 34% from 3. So that tells you that, no defense or bad, not great defense and bad, not so great shooting. So the Mystics get the win 91-78 over the Wings. Washington is now 14-17 and Dallas has dropped to 8-24. The other key statistic that you see is that Washington points in the paint was 48-20 over Dallas. That's huge. That's huge. But early in the game, Dallas had a 14-point lead. They were rolling along in the beginning, and then they just couldn't do it after that. After halftime, it was, I don't know. But the Mystics built a 19-point lead. Dallas had 14 turnovers and Washington had 22. But here's the thing. Dallas only got 8 points off those 17 turnovers that Washington had. On the reverse, Washington got 22 points off the 14 turnovers from Dallas. So by quarters, the Dallas was in the lead in the first, 23-18, and then they still had the lead 18-12 at half in the second. But then the Mystics just found, they figured it out. And in the third, they outscored them 33-17, and in the fourth, 28-20. So it gives you that 91-78 victory. So the Wings had 4 people in double figures, and they used every single person that was available. Every single person played. But they just traded for Diamond Miller. She only played 2 minutes. I found that interesting. But maybe they'll wean her in. So you had Arike with 12 points. She had 2 steals, a block, 2 turnovers, 2 assists. She was 0 for 3 from 3. Her big thing, and she's just not hitting her threes a lot lately. And she was 4 for 10 overall. Haley Jones, she's been playing well for them, but she fouls too much. Arike had 5 fouls too. Haley Jones has been fouling. She had 4 fouls in this game. 11 points. She was 3 for 9 overall, and she went to the line. Dallas went to the line 29 times, but the Mystics went to the line 26 times, so that was fairly even. Let's see, she had 4 rebounds, 1 assist. And then you have Geisel Solder. She had 10 points. She was 2 for 5 from 3, 2 for 7 overall. She was 4 for 4 from the line. She had a block, a turnover, and a rebound. They need, she was basically their big, and she only had 1 rebound. I mean, Hines Allen was the one who got all the rebounds. But, I think Hines Allen is only like 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. Paige Beuckers, she did okay. I mean, she shot pretty well. But she's an efficient player. She has been since college, probably since before college. She had 17 points, 2 steals. She had 1 turnover, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. She was 5 for 5 from the line, 2 for 4 from 3, and 5 for 9 overall. And then they played Grace Berger. She had quite a few minutes. She had 19 minutes. She didn't score, though. She was 0 for 5. She had 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 2 assists, and a rebound. Hines Allen had 8 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, but she had 4 turnovers. She was 2 for 7 and 1 for 2 from 3. And then she was 3 for 4 from the line. Maddie Segrest, she had 9 points. They were going to need more out of her for this game. But she I think they're still, because she's just coming back from injury. She only played 18 minutes. She was 3 for 8. Overall, 1 for 2 from 3, and she was 2 for 2 from the line. She had a block, a steal, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Leah Rue, she ended up with 2 assists. She took 2 shots and didn't make them, so she didn't score. Quinterly, they only played 7 minutes. But, maybe they should have played her more. She was 3 for 3. 2 for 2 from 3. She hit her foul shot. She had a steal and a rebound and 9 points in 7 minutes. They should have played her more. Diamond Miller didn't score. She ended up with an assist in the 2 minutes she was in. And then Isaiah James, they aren't playing her that much either. She had 2 points, a steal, a turnover, 2 rebounds. She took 3 shots and she made 1 of them. So, anyway, that's how this one went. The Mystics look pretty good. They might, depending on their schedule, a lot of this is going to come down to who has a tougher schedule. Because there's that group of teams. There's like 5 teams that are vying for those last 3 spots. Maybe 6. And, Seattle's losing. They lost their last 4. They've now dropped below the Valkyries at the number 8 spot. And the Valkyries have taken over 7. And they have the tiebreaker on Seattle. They've beaten them more than... The Valkyries only lost to them once. So this is all going to be really interesting down the stretch here. I think we've got 13 or 14 more games left. So it'd be pretty interesting to see who makes those. I mean, the top is pretty much set, but boy, that middle, it's going to be a fight. It's like playoff basketball right now. So that's it for this one, and we'll see you next time.